I'm JJ with Innovative Nutrition. I'm going to start with answering some more questions today. We're going to look at the differences between your whey proteins. So this is going to help you to make a better decision, make a better choice on which whey protein is going to be right for you and whether you should spend the extra money to get something that's more expensive or to get something cheaper, and what's the difference between those. So we're going to start off just by talking about what whey protein is, where it comes from, and how some of these are processed. I'm not going to go into a lot of detail on the processing or even the separation, but we're just going to give a general idea of what the difference is between the different whey proteins. So you start off with milk. Milk is going to contain your milk sugar, milk fats, whey protein, milk solids, and milk protein solids, and casein protein. Now, during the process of making cheese, an acid would be added to this to separate the solids from the liquids. The solids would then be separated out, and that's going to form cheese. The cheese will contain most of your milk protein solids and your casein proteins, as well as a lot of the fats, a little bit of the carbs, usually very little carbs, but most of your fats and casein proteins and your solid proteins are going to form cheese. The rest will then be a liquid portion that's referred to as whey. Whey will contain most of your milk sugar and the liquid portions of protein called whey protein. That would then be dehydrated into what's referred to as sweet whey. Now, growing up on a farm and still living on a farm, we'd make our own cheese. So I'm familiar with the entire process here of how this is made and what the byproducts are. Used to, whey would just be thrown away as a byproduct, but then it contains a very fast digesting protein referred to as whey protein. So they begin to filter out a lot of the residual sugars and fats out of the whey. That would be dehydrated into sweet whey. Sweet whey is then filtered to remove most of the milk sugars and the fats, and you come up with a product that's concentrated to mostly protein, and we call that whey protein concentrate. Now, if we take that filtration further, it's more expensive because there's more processing being done, but we can isolate it to almost entirely protein and come up with something that is whey protein isolate. So we've removed even more, almost all of the milk sugars and almost all of the fat, so we have just something that's almost entirely whey protein. Now, to split the difference between just cheap whey protein concentrate and something that's more expensive called whey protein isolate, often those two would be mixed back together to come up with a product that kind of splits the difference. Something that's going to be a little bit higher in concentration of protein, like whey protein isolate, but not as low as whey protein concentrate. Something that's going to be in the middle as far as the price range between the cheaper whey protein concentrate and the more expensive whey protein isolate. So you come up with a blend of whey protein concentrate and whey protein isolate that you have a good quality product that's not quite as filtered as whey protein isolate, but still has this product only contains 2 grams of fat and 4 grams of carbs, 1 gram of sugar, while having 25 grams of protein per serving. This one would have 0 carbs, 0 fat, and 23 grams of protein per serving. So then if we take that whey protein isolate and we add an acid or an enzyme to partially digest it, we come up with hydrolyzed whey protein isolate. So the whole purpose between these three is to speed digestion. Right after a workout, you have what's referred to as the window of opportunity that lasts for about an hour, where your body can assimilate nutrients and replenish what was lost during the workout and begin the repair process of the damage that was done during the workout at a much faster rate. That sensitivity lasts for about an hour before it begins to go back to normal. So if you can get a product that you can consume right after your workout, it will reach your cells during that window of that first hour. Other than that, there's not a lot of advantage between the whey proteins. So if you're looking for something that digests in 30 to 45 minutes, you can do a blend. If you want something that digests a little faster, let's say 30 minutes, you can do a whey protein isolate. If you're looking for something that was 15, 20 minutes, hydrolyzed whey protein isolate. Now the differences there, why would you choose something that's faster? Well, you run into more amino acids being delivered in a faster rate to deliver it during that window of opportunity. So the idea behind it is to enhance your recovery after your workout. The other advantage is the amount of carbs and fats, which is going to lower the caloric intake. So if you're dieting and you're trying to keep your calories more under control, then a whey protein isolate would be a better choice if you're mixing it right. Now recently I was talking to a customer. He was using just a whey protein isolate, 0 carbs, 0 fat. So if you're familiar with the caloric values of protein, fats, and carbs, then protein is going to be 9 calories per gram. Carbohydrates, including sugar, is going to be 4 calories per gram. Protein is also 4 calories per gram. So you can't get a product that has fewer calories than the multiple of 4 times however many grams of protein you have. So this product containing 23 grams of protein in a single scoop with 0 carbs and 0 fat is going to be around 92 grams or 92 calories per serving or per scoop. This one is going to be very similar, around 100 grams. While this one will have, like I said, 2 grams of fat, that's an extra 18 calories, and 4 grams of carbohydrates, that's an extra 16 calories. So the total caloric value of this per scoop is 130 calories compared to 92 or 100, with very similar amounts of protein per container. Now, if I were to purchase one and like a whey protein isolate and then mix it with milk, I've defeated the purpose that I bought this for. Because I spent an extra $10 to $15 per container to get something that has 0 protein, or not 0 protein, 0 carbs and 0 fat, and that digests faster. And then I mix it with something that's going to slow the digestion and add just this little container of milk right here. Contains, let's see, 24 grams of carbohydrates, 22 of that being sugar, an extra 16 grams of protein, and an extra 16 grams of fat. So that puts this at 300 calories for this thing right here. Now why choose something that you pay extra $10 to $15 for to get something that is as low in calories as you possibly can get, and then mix it with an extra 300 calories? Now, like I said, recently I had a customer, he was complaining that he was taking a whey protein isolate and he was still gaining weight instead of losing weight. The whole purpose was for him to lose weight, and yet he was gaining weight. We talked about his diet. We went through some different problems that he had in his diet, but I still couldn't find anything real significant until we talked about his protein shake. And he had the best protein, so what was the problem? Well, he was mixing it with 2 cups of milk, so there's an extra 300 calories. He was also adding peanut butter and a banana to his shake, so he was ending up with around a 600 calorie shake. Now that's equivalent to a weight gainer. And he was doing that twice a day. That's an extra 1,200 calories. That's a lot of extra calories to try to burn off. If he was mixing this with water, it would be less than 200 calories for those 2 shakes. 200 as opposed to 1,200. That's a big difference. Pay attention to what you're mixing your protein shakes with. Just because you're taking a protein shake does not mean that suddenly you're going to lose weight. You've got to pay attention to your total caloric expenditure as opposed to your total caloric intake. Now, these are great products, but they have to be used correctly. 130 calories, if you were doing 2 shakes of this a day mixed in water, you've got 260 calories, or 200 calories for this one. And still, those 2 shakes are less than this one little container of milk. So pay attention to what you're mixing it with. Make the right decisions. You don't have to spend a whole fortune on your protein to come up with a good protein that's going to be right for your goals and what you're trying to accomplish. You can go with something a little less expensive and still get great progress. Thanks.